Do you ever feel like an itch in your brain that only the most satisfying cozy game can scratch? This is such a weird way to start the video. I want to talk about the most satisfying cozy games out there. These are some of my favorite cozy games. They are perfect to combine with other cozy activities like watching your favorite show, listening to a podcast or an audiobook. Usually these are either puzzle-based games or cleaning simulators or organizing simulators. A lot of the games on this list are games that I genuinely play every single day when I'm trying to unwind and turn my brain off a little bit at the end of the day. Without further ado, I'm so excited to share these games with you, so let's get started. The first satisfying game on my list is A Little to the Left. This is an absolutely stunning, cozy puzzle game that has you sort, stack, and organize items into pleasing arrangements. You do have to keep an eye out for the cat because he will come in and mess things up and you have to fix them all up again. Yes, there is a cat in this game, which immediately makes it a 10 out of 10 for me. You are organizing different areas and spots of your apartment. I think it is so cleverly designed. I love the art style. I really like the puzzles. They are all engaging but not too hard that you wouldn't be able to solve them or get frustrated with them. I do feel like the game does get progressively harder as you get further into the puzzles. I especially love that some of the puzzles have different ways to solve them, so you gotta think outside the box a little bit and figure out different ways to organize the items. I'm a big fan of having everything have a specific place, so this game really scratches that itch for me. If you're anything like me, you're really gonna love this game. I really recommend it. Following on my list is one that I think might be a little bit of a rogue choice, but I find this game really satisfying, and that is Good Pizza, Great Pizza. This game has become a classic in the cozy gaming community, but I also feel like it should have even more hype than it does. This game is so methodic and so satisfying in my opinion. There is some reading in this game that might make it a little bit hard to multitask, or at least it does for me, but I still think it's a very satisfying game, so I had to include it in this list, and I haven't talked about it in a while, so I thought I have to. This game is pretty straightforward. You're running your own pizza restaurant in this pizza town. What I love about this game is that they build an entire world around pizza. I think it's so silly, and you can tell they put so much love into each of the characters and the stories. There's lore, pizza lore in the game, which I think is so creative. I just really appreciate silly details like that in video games. In this game, you have to take orders and make sure you're giving your customers the type of pizza that they want. You have to figure out what they want by what they're telling you, which I think gives you that puzzle element, but along the way you get to know your customers better. You also get to improve your restaurant and decorate it however you want to, which I think is such a lovely and underrated part of this game because there's so much customization in it, and also just the design and art style of the game is just so cute. It has such a beautiful pastel palette, which is just very satisfying to look at in my opinion. It's so silly, it's so satisfying, and it's just so cozy. I can't recommend it enough. And it's all about pizza. Who doesn't love pizza? I mean, 10 out of 10. Alright. I know I talked about this game literally on my last video game list, but hear me out. House Flipper 2 and House Flipper 1 for that matter too. This is such a satisfying game. I simply cannot stop playing it. It has become one of my comfort games in the last few months. Maybe up there with one of my favorite games, who knows. It's perfect for this list because it has all of the satisfying factors. It has cleaning, it has decorating, it has fulfilling orders, and at the end of it there's a sandbox element to it, which I think is just really nice to do to just let your creativity run wild, and at the same time it's really nice for multitasking. As the name suggests, in this game you play as a house flipper, buying homes and making them better so that you can sell them. At the beginning of the game you are improving homes for other people, which is really cool because you get to fulfill their needs, and that was honestly some of my favorite part of the game, just being able to see what the people wanted and give them that. It's just so fun, so satisfying. I like to describe it as Sims, but what's Pancha doing? Okay, I like to describe it kind of like Sims, but only the decorating part, which I know is a lot of people's favorite part in The Sims. So I also will say I recommended this game to my bestie and she's also obsessed with it, so I'm just saying, whoever has played this game is absolutely hooked. So either way, it's such a satisfying game and I think it's perfect if you're looking for something to do to unwind at the end of the day. Speaking of cleaning, I had to include PowerWash Simulator in this list, even though I recently talked about it too. This is just peak cleaning satisfying times. Turn off your brain and power wash to your heart's content. As the name suggests, in this game you play as a power washer. Is that the official name? A power wash worker? You are tasked with different levels where you must power wash either certain buildings, sometimes you have to power wash cars or a whole skating park. It is such a perfect game to play while multitasking. If you like games that are fairly repetitive and you don't have to think about it too much, this game is peak satisfying in that way. Also, it's really nice to play while you're just chit-chatting with friends because it does have a co-op option and some of the levels are pretty big, so it's really nice to have someone to play with to help you with those bigger levels. One of my favorite things to do is get on PowerWash Simulator with a dear friend and do, you know, those silly little lists of questions that you can find online. 110 questions to ask your best friend to see if they're really your friend. I just think it's so fun to play PowerWash Simulator and ask those questions. You get your satisfying gaming time in, you get socializing in, and you get to know your friends better. Hang out with friends in that way and let me know how you like it. It's the best. It's just the best. Something else about PowerWash is that there are so many silly little hidden gems in the levels that you get to find. Some of them are kind of creepy, but some of them are quite silly and fun. Like, I think every level you can find a little gnome hidden, so that just make it a little just a little bit more fun and silly and special, in my opinion. On the same vein, we also have Lawnmower Simulator. Since I've loved PowerWash Simulator, I have quite a few friends tell me to try Lawnmower Simulator because it's like the same but mowing the lawn instead of power washing, and that just sounds lovely to me. So if you're not much into power washing, maybe try lawn mowing. One thing that also caught my eye about this simulator in particular is that you get to do all of this detailed lawn mowing in beautiful British countryside, which also adds this gorgeous ambiance to your little lawn mowing adventures. Lawn mowing adventures? Yeah, we're gonna stick with lawn mowing adventures. Another one on the same simulator vein, Fresh Start Cleaning Simulator. You're cleaning the ecosystems and making the planet better, which I think is such a lovely take on this kind of games. I really love the underlying messages of games about cleaning the planet and making it a better place. Fresh Start is a relaxing single-player game in which you embark on a mission to clean up the world and restore nature in its fresh and colorful shape. A beautiful thing about this game is that you can watch the world change as you clean it. You can watch the animals come back to the ecosystems. You can also interact with the animals in this game, which I think is just a 10 out of 10. Just being able to pet a chicken here and there, it just takes any game to a different level. If you want to play a cleaning game where you also get to pet animals, this is the game for you. On the same vein of restoring nature, we have another very satisfying game called Loddlenaut. I recently talked about this game too, but it is just so beautiful and so satisfying and perfect to play while you're watching something else as well. In this game, you play as the cutest little guy who is an interstellar custodian sent to clean up a polluted ocean planet. This game is absolutely stunning. The music, the game design, also a very interesting story that you discover as you are cleaning all of the different parts of the ocean. You can also befriend little Loddles. They are this really cute axolotl-like creatures that you get to name and feed and watch them grow, and they also help you clean. It's really lovely and it has such a beautiful message about ocean conservation. You can also use the trash that you gather from the ocean to recycle and make tools out of them and improve your gaming experience, which I think is really cute. The music in the game game is responsive. So as you are slowly cleaning certain parts of the ocean, you can feel the music go from like this maybe darker, sadder themes to like these like more upbeat and beautiful, happy themes, which I think is just such a lovely detail in games like this, and I really appreciate it. And like I said, you play as a little guy, you befriend little guys, it's all filled with little guys, and there's nothing that makes my heart happier. I could not make a satisfying cozy game list without including one of my absolute favorite games of all time, and that is Unpacking. I've talked about this game on this channel so much because it's just so perfect. This is the game that I've replayed the most in my entire life, probably. And I think it's because of the satisfying factor of it. In this game, you get to go through the familiar act of unpacking someone's belongings in different stages of their lives. You get to see what different belongings they have, you get to see their different spaces, and in that way, discover the story of this person, even though you've never met them and you've never seen them. I think it's such a beautiful way to tell a story, and it's also just an incredibly satisfying game if you're, like I said, someone like me who really likes organizing stuff. This game is gonna scratch that itch perfectly for you. There's a puzzle element, but a lot of it feels like just a really fun decorating game, to be honest. And I think that's where the replayability comes from, because you can always restart the game and just organize things differently. And I think that's really fun. There's also just a lot of really fun and silly achievements in this game, and a lot of them feel very intuitive, which I think is not the case in a lot of games. If you're a completionist, you might be the kind of person who looks up what achievements there are on this game, and then you have to go out of your way to get those achievements. But in this game, a lot of the achievements are just so intuitive and fun and silly, and it's not hard to accomplish them without even having to look them up. So it's also a game that is queer. I talk about the way that it made me cry in the end every single time. It's so beautiful. Also, the music in this game is so good that I still listen to it on a regular basis, and it immediately transports me into that Zen place. If you are the kind of person who pays a lot of attention to details, you're really gonna enjoy this game because there's so much to find out. Each item is so fun to look at. There's a reason why that item is there, and I think that's really beautiful. It's one of my favorite games of all time. I could talk about it forever. Please play it if you haven't, and let me know how you liked it. Last but not least, I want to give platform to a game that I feel needs a lot more hype, and that game is called Birth. This is a beautiful ED cozy puzzle game. You're basically solving the puzzle so you can find body parts so you can create a friend, Frankenstein style. I absolutely loved this game. It is so cozy and just so stunning to look at. I was constantly being blown away by the specific art style of this game. It's a tiny bit creepy, but not in a scary way. It's just the art style is very unique. The music is absolutely gorgeous as well. They do a lot of remixes of classical piano songs. So stunning. It's perfect also for the fall season. I know it is July, but is anyone else ready for the fall season? Because I know I am. If you're in your summer-ween feelings, I think this game will definitely scratch that itch for you as well. I think this game is really satisfying because of the puzzle mechanics. It just feels so organic, no pun intended. You can play the whole thing in a couple hours, and you can also play it while you're watching something else, which I think is the whole point of this list in a way. As a special mention, I do want to talk about the Tiny Glades demo that just came out. Even though it is a demo, it has so much content to it that you can spend a long time playing. It's worth giving it a try if you haven't already. It is free, and I cannot wait for the full game to come out. Tiny Glade is a small, relaxing game about doodling castles. There's no management, combat, or wrong answers. Just kick back and turn forgotten meadows into lovable dioramas. Such a fun game to just sit down, turn off your brain, and do some satisfying building without having to worry about anything else. You also get to pet the sheep, which is definitely top priority for me. These are some of the buildings that I did in Tiny Glade when I tried it out, and I just had the best time. I know the game hasn't come out yet, but hopefully it'll come out at the end of this year. I just had to talk about it because it's so beautiful and so satisfying, and the demo has so much content to it. It's so good. Also, Trash Goblin. Do I need to say more? When I found this game, I immediately knew it would speak to me in an emotional level. This is a wholesome and cozy shopkeeping game where you uncover and clean trinkets for sale. You also get to customize them to meet the eccentric requests of your endless colorful customers. I'm actually quite impressed that this game hasn't gotten more hype because I feel like it speaks to such a specific part of the cozy gaming community. I feel like a lot of us are at our very core trinket goblins. Those are all the satisfying cozy games that I have for you today. I love these games. I cannot wait to play more of them. If I missed any, please let me know because I do want to try them. Have you played any of these games before? How did you like them? I want to hear you guys out. If you guys have any podcasts or audiobook recommendations or series recommendations that you have been listening to while playing your cozy games, please let me know because I am in the market for some of those. If you like this video and this kind of content, make sure to subscribe if you haven't already and like this video if you liked it. I'm Cozy Game Night on Twitch and TikTok and Instagram. Go hang out over there. I would love to have you. Make sure you take extra time this summer to kick back and play some satisfying cozy games while you watch your favorite movie or listening to your favorite podcast. That has been one of my favorite activities at the moment. And most importantly, please remember to take care of yourself, have some rest, have some water, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.